We're back. Greensboro Viewmaster is back, and I'm with Karen Tueffel, who is, I think, in charge of directing, overseeing 50 Shades of Blue, a denim exhibit that is taking place in and around, well, not outside, right?
Just inside, except
but
for a little entrance.
around the inside of the Cultural Arts Center. So it's going to be fascinating to hear more about that. First question, as always, are you a Greensboro native? Are you a transplant from some other place in the world?
Transplant from Colorado.
Excellent. Okay. And what brought you here?
Actually, it's kind of a long story, but I'll make it short. So my husband and I actually moved here because he's a drag racer. And
Really?
So drag racing is what got us here, because this is a much better place to drag race than Colorado.
Okay. Is he still drag racing?
He is. He
Wow.
is. Yeah.
Good. And how is he? Is he pretty good?
He's good. He's good. He's a sportsman racer, so he doesn't make the big, giant money like John Forrest does, but he does pretty well.
Does it worry you, or have you gotten used to it?
It's funny because people don't realize that driving your own passenger car on the highways and roads is much more dangerous than driving a very carefully controlled race car down a racetrack. So it's actually a lot safer, believe it or not. It's a lot scarier because you're
Yeah.
going faster, but it's actually safer for the driver.
I can see that about drag racing. Stock car racing, though? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, no figure eights.
Oh, my
We
gosh.
don't want to do that.
Okay, so tell us about your involvement in the arts and curation and how 50 Shades of Blue came about.
Okay, great. Well, it's actually was an interesting start to it. So I've always been an artist as a hobby. I work in a corporate environment, but art is my passion. And so there was an organization that I was part of called the Creative Center, which is no longer a nonprofit, but we brainstormed an idea for Greensboro that we thought made a lot of sense. Greensboro is a hub for textiles, and for a long time it's really been a place where textiles have been created and turned into wonderful materials for sale, etc. And we thought, how cool would it be if we could have an art exhibit that revolves around that whole history of Greensboro as a textile hub. So we came to find out that Wrangler, as part of their regular testing process, discards these things that they call leg panels and denim panels. So that's what these things are.
Can you see those, Chuck?
And this is a filler panel. This is a leg panel. And what these do is, they're basically put through washers, and they put rocks in with them, and they try to see how all of those different processes are going to affect the fabric so they can create the next cool trend in jeans, right? And after they're done, they go to a recycling facility. But they're also available to artists or anyone who wants to use them to create something fun out of them. So we
Nice.
said, all right, we have this unlimited supply of materials. Can we encourage some artists to do something with them that's creative? And so everything that you see here, and there's about 80 works from 27 different artists, are created out of the denim and twill that are discards from this process.
Excellent. So to experience it, the whole center here has become an art gallery.
Exactly.
In effect. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Is it just something that you just sort of wander through? Is there a path to follow as you go through?
It's all on one floor,
It's
which
interactive.
is great.
It's self-motivated.
Exactly. It's self-directed,
Self-directed,
I guess, right?
right.
Yeah.
Self-directed.
And everything is labeled, and a lot of the pieces are for sale. So we do
Okay.
encourage people to come through, and if there's something you like, there's information on every one of the labels that explains who you can contact in order to buy that piece. So we've got things here that are, very artsy, more like paintings on denim, all the way to very practical things like cell phone holders and key rings and so on. We even have a number of things that are designed for Alzheimer patients, which are called fidget aprons, fidget mats, wheelchair covers. What we
Nice.
see behind us here, I'm not sure if the camera can see it, but
Chuck?
this particular piece is a creation of one of the members of the Gate City Quilt Guild. Half of the artists who've contributed to this exhibition are with that guild, and so we so appreciated that they got into this and got excited about it.
That's nice.
And this one here is all, hand quilted by a lady named Judy Bastian. And on either side are a couple of pieces by an artist who is not part of the Quilt Guild, but is also very, very creative and basically created these pieces out of the various pieces of denim.
They're really nice. They're really fine. Wow. I'm so glad you came to talk to us. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Just one really important thing is on Friday, which is the 18th, people who are watching this webcast really should come and experience our grand opening. We're going to have a little refreshment.
Okay.
And we're going to go through the gallery and give people an idea of what some of these different pieces are. We'll point out some of the artists. The artists are all invited to attend. Many of them will be here to talk to, and would love to have people come by and just let's make it crowded here in the Cultural Center.
Okay, so when you say gallery, you're referring to the Cultural Center as one big gallery.
Exactly.
And the artists will be here,
Yes.
and there'll be refreshments.
Yes.
All
All the
right.
important things. The
That's
artists,
right.
the refreshments, and a good time.
And big space.
That's
and
right.
some exercises. People walk around and check
Right.
everything out.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for being here. What's up next with you? What do you...
Well, they want us to do this again next year, so we'll see. It was a lot of work and a lot of fun, but we hope that we continue it on for the next year. And there is one other element of it that I forgot to mention, which is during the Folk Festival, which is the 8th and 9th and 10th.
All right.
The space will also be open, and there will be an interactive exhibit, which basically allows kids or adults to come in and participate in a denim project.
And make something.
And they can make something, and what they're going to make are tote bags that will be donated to the Urban Ministries food pantry that the people who come to the food pantry can use to take away the cans and all the other
How great
goods.
is that?
So we have all different pieces going on here.
That's a
and,
great idea.
We're excited about it.
That's
yeah.
a great idea. How are you promoting that?
We're actually promoting it through all the local media. A press release went out a
Okay.
couple weeks ago, and we'll do another one closer to the Folk Festival
Good.
specifically about the exhibit.
That's such a great combination of motives and doing art with a mission for the community. I love that. And this is something unique to Greensboro, right?
It
This is
is.
not something that's going to travel to another city.
Well,
I
we're
mean, I would
we're
think
happy
it
to have
could.
people pick it up. I think why it makes sense for it to be in Greensboro is there's such history here about all the mills, Revolution, Proximity, White Oak. And I don't know if all people in Greensboro know this, but White Oak is still a fully operational mill, and it's the only mill in the United States that does two things. One, uses natural indigo, and two, creates a denim called selvage denim. It's the only place that selvage denim is created. So we feel like...
In the world or in the
Yes.
U.S.?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's actually quite an interesting thing to see.
And that's right over there on 16th Street.
It's actually like off 12th and Yanceyville,
Yeah.
but generally in that area,
Right, yeah.
right near the
Yeah,
Revolution
12th
Mill
and
area.
Yanceyville. Yeah, if you want to see an active textile mill, at least from the outside, I don't know if they do tours there.
I think you can arrange them, but you have to arrange them in advance.
That would be fascinating to see. I was over at Revolution Mill and looking at their Mill Village exhibition, which is really very nice. And I was looking at pictures of mills that just, as far as the eye could see, you had these machines and these operators. All the women had their hair up. They were all dressed
Right,
up.
right.
All these machine workers, textile workers, were just dressed up like they were going to church. And I don't know. I would hate to venture a guess as to what year it was. Turn of the century or 1920, 1930, something like that. Anyway, it was a classic photo. And I thought how great it would be to be able to walk into that environment, and that day. It was, in terms of manufacturing, it was just truly extraordinary.
And there's actually a really wise person who is part of the International Textile Group who can provide a lot of information to people who are interested in understanding what machines are still operated. There are mechanical machines and there are other machines that are used, but a good bit of the fabric that's created out of white oak actually made it into these pieces. So
Nice.
We're collaborating with them as well.
Is that
on this
person at
exhibition.
White Oak you're referring to?
She's actually at the International Textile Group, which is what is now Cone Mills, or what used to be Cone Mills.
All right, great. And does she do talks, or he or she?
It's a she, yes,
she.
and she does. She also does tours to the museum upon appointment, but she's
Okay, the museum
wonderful.
at Revolution?
At White Oak.
There's
White
a
Oak.
museum at White
There
Oak.
is, yeah,
Who knew?
yeah. It's pretty cool.
What's it like?
It's like you said. There are photographs there of the 4th of July picnics. There's
I love those pictures. Those are from the Cone family.
yeah, and they actually have the White Oak Mill was named that because of a big white oak that was a point for the survey of the layout of the mill. So everybody referred to the White Oak as the place that they would be, building from or the distance from it, et cetera. And they have a cross cut of this white oak when it was finally brought down by a storm. Someone thought to take a piece of that,
Right.
and it's on display in that museum.
That's
So
cool.
It's very cool, and it's huge. It's like this big around.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, it's great to meet someone who really cares about the textile heritage of our city and is involved in a project like this, bringing so many artists together. And then at the Folk Festival, doing a project for the city and for people that can really use some tote bags.
it's really been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me to talk about it.
Oh, I love having this opportunity. So we'll
Excellent.
have to stay in touch, see how things go,
will.
and
We will.
take some pictures when they make those tote bags. I'm
Okay.
excited about that.
Sounds
So,
good.
Okay. Thanks, Helen.
Thank you.
Helen Tueffel with 50 Shades of Denim.